Alright there, hey YouTube. Hey, I just wanted to show you. I got the wiring finished. I got this little window boxed off with the help of my buddy Jeff. And there, got a couple more lights wired in. Got this wired in here. I'm going to put a timer for a switch in here that'll control the lights automatically. Alright. I'm going to put foam all along that back wall. Alright guys, so I'm starting to insulate the grow room here. I'm going to be just insulating the walls, and if I have any left over I might insulate this area. I ran out of styrofoam and I ended up just sliding it in there, so this has got quite a bit of insulation here, virtually nothing here. I'm going to do something totally different here. I don't know, I might use some spray foam. I'm not sure, but I'm not too worried about it. This last winter I came in here and with just the CFLs it I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but right there is an exact duplicate image. It's like a double reflection image of the face of the bulb, which is kind of crazy because you can't see it there. Anyways, sorry about the distraction. But anyways, I was in here in the winter time, and it really did stay quite a bit warmer in here. My shop, which is just right here, is heated in the winter, and that heat, some of that heat radiates through. And yes, I know I'm putting insulation on that wall, but this is just kind of a shell, so there will be a little bit of heat that comes in here in between this, so some of that heat will transfer through. But anyways, I'm going to throw the insulation up, and then I'm going to throw a plastic vapor barrier over the top of it, and because I don't need a high humidity causing mold growth in the insulation. This is just paper back insulation. I use a stapler and just pretty much like that. Now these staplers are designed, at least this one is, to have a little bit sticking out. So the easy answer to that is hammer. I mean, if you're really picky about making it flat. And the only reason I'm doing that is because when I put my plastic vapor barrier up, I want it to prevent tearing as much as possible. Now the vapor barrier is not a permanent solution, it's not going to be a hermetically sealed room by any stretch, because every time you put staples in the plastic, it creates a tiny little vent. But it's a majority. It's a majority that you're going to be keeping in. Now, show you the easiest way to do insulation is get a tape measure, lay out, first measure the height from top to bottom of the inside of your bay, then take a tape measure, lay out the exact length. Like my height and the inside there is 77 inches, so I take the end of it, take it to 77 inches, come over here, get yourself a nice sharp razor knife, something you don't mind dulling the tip, like this, and just keep scoring it till you get down to concrete or whatever else you have. And as you start out, it'll be easy, and after you've done it a couple hundred times, it'll be a little bit tougher because you dulled the tip of your razor knife, and you can hear that scraping. Now this stuff has this folded over here, so you can staple it to the 2x4. You put it in your bay, and then you fold this over and you staple it. So what you end up getting is you cut through, but then you have a little bit of paper at the end. It doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously this is horrible, but you should be a little bit more perfect than this. There you go. And then you just take your insulation, throw it in your bay. Now this if you measured your studs at 16 on center, most standard installations are designed for 16 on center. If you measure like 24 on center or something like that, you better make sure you get an installation that's designed for that. Now, I just bought the cheapest installation I could from Lowe's. I'm not endorsing them. I'm not making any money from them. I'm not making any money at all. At least not from YouTube stuff. And I just pull it up tight. And you just go down and push it all in. It'll be a nice tight fit. It's designed to do that. Just take it like so. Now, if it's a little bit too long, it doesn't matter. A little extra insulation never hurt anybody. It's not wasted. It's going to good purpose. You take your staple gun, throw a staple in there. I pull it tight, or I try to. I got one hand holding the camera, so it's not tight now. But then I'll just go down and just staple about every 3-4 inches. Just to hold it in place. You could probably do less, make staples go a little farther, but it doesn't take that much. So that's it. I'll come back to you when I make a little more progress. Thanks. Alright, so this is 3.5 mil plastic. I'm going to be wrapping the insulation. Now I ran a little bit short here, but that's okay. I can deal with that later. Alright, so I have some plastic vapor barrier up. I was a little bit short on this end in my measuring. That's alright. I stapled it at this side. And over here, I was plenty long, but this side here, I'm short insulation. I'm short insulation on this part here. It doesn't matter because I need to figure out some way to seal this off. Now I do have some foam on the door, so when the door shuts, it's not the cold spot, but I'm not really too worried about any of that because, like I've said before, the room generally stays warmer in the winter. Now, as far as electrical goes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie into this box here. I'm going to come out the bottom, since there's already a stress relief grommet dealio thing. I'm going to come off, tie into here, tie all these together, all this fancy stuff, tie the lights together, and hook stuff to things, like my detailed anatomy of a vocabulary. Anyways, now I have some leftover plastic. Those rolls were, that roll was 25 foot by 10 foot. Now my ceiling height here is not 10 feet. It's closer to 7-ish. And what I'm going to do with this extra is I'm going to get it to magically stay up there. Now I'm going to put it across this wall here, create a vapor barrier there. It's not super insulated, but I really don't care. I'm just anxious to get it set up so I can actually start some more seedlings and get some stuff growing. Now this guy here, I think I mentioned it before, I'm going to replace that old rotten piece of wood with a piece of plexiglass and maybe some mirrors, and I'm going to see if I can get some sunlight in here to supplement my my grow lights. I'm going to eventually coat this with some sort of reflective material, possibly some mylar, I don't know, maybe some polished metal, and that's as far as I got. Thanks, guys. Come back with another update in a little bit. Alright, hey there guys. So I have the plastic on the top, plastic on the back. I got my outlets in, I got my light fixtures in. All that's left now is I have the power turned off to my power coming in. See, nothing there. So I'm going to take this guy apart, tie this into it, and then test the circuits. I'll come back. Alright there, guys. So this wraps up my long-awaited grow room. We got one tomato, a hydroponic tomato, made it in here. I got the lights rearranged a little different. We got a couple of lights there. Got lights over here, lights over there. Generally speaking, the place is fairly bright, but I know for the tomato it's probably at its minimum limit. I'm still going to try to figure out a way to get some sunlight in there. In here, my daughter's growing a bunch of different types of flowers, but they take a couple weeks to germinate, so nothing special. Got a little heating pad and some grow lights, and got a fan on a timer. I think it's set for like 10 hours or 4, 5, 6 hours. So that's it. Thanks for watching and being patient, and the next step is to find a place for all my extras. I'm going to try to keep the grow room for just growing and not storage. That way it doesn't get crazy cluttered. I have a tendency to do that anyways. The next step is I'm going to bring in a little stand and a table, and I'm going to try growing some hydroponic lettuce. Maybe a little ways down the road, but that's next. Alright, you guys have a good one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Alright, thanks. Thanks for watching, guys, and please subscribe, share, like this video, and check out my other stuff.